Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapara Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone again to Saturday Sanga. Brihaspati, are you okay?
Witam wszystkich ponownie na sobotniej sangie. Czy jest wszystko w porządku?
Whoops, we hear you translating. How can we arrange that we don't hear you translating? There's.
I will assign Brihaspati Prabhu to be.
I just unmuted myself now. It's also possible that someone else has their mic on and they hear me because now I'm just...
If you could listen to Dharma,
I am.
He's telling you what to do.
Brihaspati Prabhu, are you translating or Kavichandra Prabhu? Who is translating?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I will assign you as a translator because I assigned him. Okay, just a second. Hold on.
Hare Krishna. Technical details. Mm-hmm. So we are today going to have, Krishna willing, we will have a special guest, a surprise guest at 2:00 European time. And prior to this, we will sing Bhaktivinoda Thakura's song in his Saranagati, Bhakti-pratikūla Bhava Varjanangikara, song number 2. And we will see how the time goes, and we'll see if any of you have something to share and tell and show and tell. And we may speak something more if there's time about the subject of protection, and we didn't give time last time because I had asked you 2 weeks ago to prepare a prayer of protection after reading the Narayana Kavaca. I thought you may like to read some, may like to write some prayer of protection, and we heard, who did we hear? We heard a couple of them. And I also received Mandali's prayer on WhatsApp. We can read that, or she can read it. And yeah, we may discuss more on this subject of protection. Hare Krishna. So here we go. All right. Music box. Okay. Tuwā-bhakti-pratikūla dharma jā'te parama jatane tāhā tyajibo niścoy tuwā-bhakti-pratikūla dharma jā'te parama jatane tāhā tyajibo niścoy tuwā-bhakti-bahir-mukha Sanga koribo gaurāńga-virodhi-jana-mukha heribo tuwā-bhakti-bahir-mukha Sanga koribo gaurāńga-virodhi-jana-mukha heribo Bhakti-pratikūla stane na koribo sati Bhakti-apriya karje nahi korirati Bhakti-pratikūla stane na koribo sati Bhakti-apriya karje nahi korirate Bhaktir-virodhi-granta patana koribo Bhaktir-virodhi-bhakya kabuna shunibo Bhaktir-virodhi-granta patana koribo Bhaktir-virodhi-bhakya kabuna shunibo gaurāńga-varjita stan tirtanahimani bhaktir badak jñāna-karma tucca-jani gaurāńga-varjita stan tirtanahimani bhaktir badak jñāna-karma tucca-jani bhaktir badaka bhaktir badika sriha koribo varjan abhakta pradatta anna naghorigrahan bhaktir badaka sriha koribo varjan abhakta pradatta anna naghorigrahan jaha kichu bhakti-pratikūla bolī-jane, tyajibo jatane tāhā, niścoy vani. Jaha kichu bhakti-pratikūla bolī-jane, tyajibo jatane tāhā, niścoy vani. Bhaktivinoda bodhi prabhuracharane, magaye shakati pratikulera varjane. Bhaktivinoda bodhi prabhuracharane, magaye shakati pratikulera varjane. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Heribo, 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 niścoy, Heribo, 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 Heribo. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur śpiewa.
Whoops, we don't have the separate translation yet. Can we make some adjustment for that? For Brihaspati?
Yes, just sign in again with the registered user.
Okay. So he says, I vow to abandon without compromise all actions contrary to your devotional service. Tuwa-bhakti-pratikūla, dharma jā'te roy, parama jatane tāhā, tyajibo niścoy. Pratikula is our key word for all these songs. Anukul meaning favorable or following in the direction, you can say, and pratikul going in the opposite direction. Tuwa-bhakti-pratikūla dharma, activities which are pratikul dharma. And here, jā'te Roy, I'm not sure, but it's in any case expressing his determination in the second line. Parama jatane. Jatane, I think, is in with the highest effort. Tāhā, those activities, tyajibo, I will give up. Niścoy, certainly. This is going to be the mood of the whole song, is great determination, bordering, someone might say, bordering on fanaticism. Tuwā-bhakti-bahir-mukha Sanga koribo, gaurāńga-virodhi-jana-mukha heribo. I will keep company with no one opposed to devotional service. Tuwa-bhakti-bahir-mukha. We maybe mentioned this before. Bahir-mukha, external facing away from tuwa-bhakti, from your devotion. Sanga na koribo, I will not make Sanga, I will not make association with such persons. Gaurāńga-virodhi-jana-mukha, the face of persons who are against Gaurāńga. Heribo, I will not look at them, I will not see them. Bhakti-pratikūla stane na korivasati, bhaktir apriya karje nahi korirati. I shall never reside at a place unfavorable for devotional service, and may I never take pleasure in non-devotional works. So bhakti-pratikūla, against devotion, stane, in a place, na korivasati, I will not make it a residence, and bhaktir apriya, what is not favorable or dear to bhakti, karje, in such activities, nahi korirati, I'll find no rati, I'll find no pleasure in such activities. I will make no pleasure, korirati. Then number 4, I will read no book opposed to pure devotion. Bhaktir-virodhi-jana-mukha pata na koribo. Pata means to read. Granta means book. It's the more Sanskrit word for book. It can also mean knot, as in tying. You tie a knot. Bhakti grant. So bhakti virodhi granta, books that are not, that are against bhakti, I will not read. Bhakti virodhi bhakya in modern Bengali, bhakya, vyakya. Kabuna shunibo, I will not listen to any explanation, vyakya, which is bhakti virodhi. Which reminds me, before I go on and before I forget, we've been listening to a very nice seminar, which I want to recommend, from His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu. He gave a 3-part series. It's on YouTube at ISKCON Silicon Valley about a year ago, or this last January, called The Allure of Mayavadi Philosophy and how to resist it or how to avoid it. Very nice, very clear explanation of what exactly is Mayavad. What is Mayavada Vada? What is the doctrine, the Vada of Mayavad? And how the Vaishnavas counteract and respond and challenge Mayavada. And I even noted the link for that. Did I note the link for it? No, not yet. I may do that later. But you'll find it if you search, as we do with Google. Just searching YouTube, Radhika Raman and the allure, A-L-L-U-R-E, of Mayavadi philosophy. Maybe one of you can find it and post the link. It's, or it would be 3 links altogether. So Bhaktivinoda Thakura is saying, I will never listen to that. But this is because Radhika Raman Prabhu is explaining Mayavada philosophy, but he's explaining it, you can say, in a very, in a safe environment, so to say, in such a way that no one will be damaged. Gaurāńga, oh, we have the link up, I see. Chitrakarani has found. Gaurāńga-varjita stan tirtha nahimani bhaktir badak jñāna-karma tyajibo. I will never regard as sacred any place where Lord Gaurāńga is rejected. So varjita means rejected. Gaurāńga-varjita stan, a place. A tirtha nahimani, I will not regard, I will not, I'll not be interested in such a place. Any knowledge hindering pure devotional service, I consider worthless. Badaka means that which binds, causing bondage. So bhaktir badak, in this case, hindering bhakti, jñāna-karma, whatever it may be, as jnana or karma. Tucca-jani, I will regard it as tucca, which means very insignificant. Here translated as worthless, which is a nice translation. Bhaktir badak kale nakori adar Bhakti-bahir-mukha nija-jane janipar. Any season, the word is kale, any time, any season which poses obstacles to the execution of devotional service shall find no favor with me. Adar, I'm not sure of a literal translation. And I will consider all relatives or family members averse to pure devotion as strangers. Bhakti-bahir-mukha nija-jane, so my own people, jani par, I will consider them, jani par, as others, as outsiders, not as my relatives. Bhaktir badaka spriha koribo varjan abhakta pradatta anna nakori grahan. I will abandon all desires that hinder devotion. Again, bhaktir badaka. Spriha means desire. Koribo varjan, I will literally make rejection. And abhakta pradatta anna. So anna means food, can mean grains, but more generally food. And pradatta means offered. Datta means given. Pradatta, offered, we can say. So abhakta pradatta anna, food which is offered by a non-devotee, not korigrahan, I will not accept. Grahana, we know this word graha means to grasp. Grahana, grasping. Then number 8, jaha kichu bhakti-pratikūla bolia jani tyajibo jatane tāhā niścoy vani. Niścoy vani, this is my firm word. This is my firm promise. What is his promise? I vow to promptly shun, to avoid whatever I know, jani, that is bhakti-pratikūla, which is against bhakti. Tyajibo, I will give up, jatane, with effort, tāhā, that, niścoy jani, that's my determination. And finally, Bhaktivinoda podi, or podiya, prabhur chorani, magaye shokati pratikul Varjanangikara. Bhaktivinoda, falling at the feet of the Lord. Podiya means falling, having fallen. Prabhur chorane, at the feet of the Lord, begs magaye, for the strength, shakti, to give up all obstacles to pure devotion. Pratikula Varjanangikara. So he's summarizing with the last line. What is his prayer? We could even say this is a form of prayer of protection. Please protect me, O Lord, by giving me power that I can reject what is not favorable for devotion. So I was saying it's, one might say it's verging on fanaticism, but this is the determination for pure devotion, which means a determination to always be alert to where the choice is between what's favorable and what's not favorable, and to choose what's favorable and choose not what's not favorable. What is favorable for bhakti? The word bhakti comes several times. Bhakti-pratikūla and bhaktir-virodhi. Kind of basically the same meaning. So we are cultivating our garden of bhakti, even in the winter time when we can't be doing much digging in the garden outdoors, unless you are in Argentina at this time, when it's maybe the best time, summertime. We are cultivating our gardens of bhakti, our creepers, carefully cultivating. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura ki jai. Hare Krishna. So, do we have some prayers of protection for reading. Maybe I should ask before that if there was anyone else with something they wanted to show and tell. No, everyone's kind of not in the mood of showing and telling. Well, okay. That's also okay. I think, let me just check if I can find Mandali. You're being avyakta. So let's see if we can find your prayer. Just now coming. Oh, here we go. So the context of this prayer is, as I was suggesting, first reading the Narayana Kavaca shield. And I hope you all got opportunity to do that. So then Mandali is writing her prayer as follows. May those who were burned by the Sudarshan chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead be blessed with pure love for Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan. May those who were pulverized by the Lord's club become unalloyed lovers of Shri Shri Radha Govinda Deva. May the sinful eyes of our enemies be replaced with beautiful eyes anointed with the salve of pure love of Godhead. And may all our enemies attain the shelter of the lotus-like feet of Lord Nityananda and be blessed with the mellows of pure devotional service to the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. Very nice. So it's kind of reversing, in a way, some of the prayers in the Narayana Kavaca, which were praying, please crush my enemies, slice off their heads, destroy, pulverize them. So, okay, but is that the final wish of the devotee? Maybe indeed there's someone so demonic they should receive such mercy of the Lord as the Narayana Kavaca describes. But then what? The devotee wants to be also a well-wisher of everyone, and this is a nice well-wishing prayer, which reminds me of the prayer of Prahlad Maharaj. I'm sure you're all familiar. It's in Canto 5, Bhagavatam, chapter 18, I think it's verse number 9. Swastyastu vishvasya kala prasidatam dhyayantu bhutani shivam mitodya manaschabhadram bhajatadad hokshajeya veshatam no matir apyahaituki. Basically praying to the Lord that everyone, including those of demonic mentality, take up devotional service and in this way become peaceful and satisfied and absorbed in service to the Lord. So that's nice, a well-wishing kind of prayer. So I saw messages here for other prayers that you want to read. Who wanted to read a protection prayer? Okay.
My humble obeisances
Hare Krishna.
to everybody, to you especially.
You're also in half of yakta mode.
Could I read? Or?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, I received chastisement from one devotee for the first version of this prayer. Then I made some corrections.
Okay.
This is, I don't know how much it is better, but Hare Krishna. Dear Lord Narayan, dear Gornitai, and Shri Shri Radha Krishna, for both not to write and to write a prayer for protection, I had several reasons. Sanatana Goswami said to Raghunath Das Goswami not to create such circumstances that Radha and Krishna have to protect him. This happened once when Radha protected him from the scorching heat of the sun, and other time when Krishna was ready to protect him from a tiger going to drink water in the Radhakunda, passing very close to Raghunath Das Goswami. Secondly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead knows very well what we need, just as an affectionate father knows the needs of his child. So why write a prayer for protection? And thirdly, I'm not a pure devotee to offer pure prayers like Prahlad or Dhruva. However, I decided to write this prayer, firstly, because this is the instruction of my Guru Maharaj, and secondly, because it is a way of surrender, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna, meaning Krishna will surely protect us, provided, as Srila Prabhupada explains, if we do service to Krishna. First, O Lord Krishna, I decided to offer this prayer to you and Lord Chaitanya, because although the Narayana Kavaca prayer mentions many incarnations, all the incarnations are finally expansions of you. If I pray to you, it is like praying to all incarnations, your plenary portions, and the portions of your plenary portions. O Lord Narayan, Lord Ram, Narasimha, Vamana, Hamsa, Parashuram, Kurma, Matsya, Balaram, and Kalki, please be pleased with me offering this prayer for protection at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Somebody told me that praying for protection is equal to asking the Supreme Lord to appear before us. However, the Narayana Kavaca describes that the subtle and gross material cosmic manifestation is simultaneously different and non-different from you, the Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Original Personality of Godhead. In this way, you can destroy all obstacles and dangers by any of your potent energies. You can destroy adhyatmika kleshas, problems arising from the body and mind, the adibhautika kleshas, problems and dangers arising from other living entities, and the adidaivaka kleshas, the problems and dangers arising from the material nature and the demigods. O Lord Krishna, while writing this, I'm a bit doubtful whether I deserve such a protection, and I am not so sure that you would protect me in the same way as you did protect Prahlad Maharaj. But one statement of Dhruva Maharaj is giving me hope, namely, just as the cow protects its newborn calf, you also protect the new devotee, although he, she might not yet be on the pure devotional platform. Dear Lord Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Savior of the Most Fallen, please protect at least whatever small devotion I might have. Protect me from the 6 enemies, protect me from the lower modes of material nature and from the offenses to the devotees. Please protect my faith, my soul, and the tiny bhakti lata which hopefully one day can offer a nice flower at your lotus feet. O Lord Narayan, Lord Ram, Narasimha Dev, Vamana, Hamsa, Parashuram, Kurma, Matsya, Balaram, and Kalki, I hope you are not angry that I did not direct this prayer to you directly, but here is one request to your merciful lotus feet. I read that if Hari is displeased with someone, the Guru can still save him, but if Guru is angry with someone, nobody can save him. Therefore, please help me so that I can please my Guru Maharaj and protect me from any circumstances in which he might become angry at me. I am aware that my endeavor is very important, but mercy and protection is also necessary. With the combination of these, I hope I can make advancement in Krishna consciousness. And finally, O Krishna, whether you will give me protection or not is completely up to you, your sweet will. But whatever you decide to do, please somehow or other keep me close to the association of devotees, and meanwhile I wait for the day when you will eternally bind me to your divine lotus feet. Lord Shri Krishna ki jai, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Nice. First you give 3 reasons why not to make a prayer for protection, and
modlitwę o ochronę.
And then you give 2 reasons for making the prayer, and then a very thorough prayer. So I think you covered, we say in English, you covered all the bases. Thank you. So, Kavi Chandra, you have a song for us, I just read.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, fine, great. Because Dhirasanta Prabhu is translating now into Polish. So, actually, I like to make short introduction. That's personal thing for me. Dhirasanta Prabhu, we can hear you now. You should change to Polish. Okay. So 25 years ago, Guru Maharaj gave me a name Kavichandra Das. So as you know, Kavi means, between other things, means also a poet. But, you know, I have no clue why poet. So around 3 years ago, me and my friend Dhirasanta Prabhu were in Sadhu-bhavan, and on the way home, we decided let's create a rock band. So we sing some songs, and then then I started writing songs. So from this, you know, now I can see why this Kavi is there, but I was writing mainly in English, in Polish. And 1 month ago, I wrote my first song in English, but it's still recorded with Viryavan Prabhu. But a few days ago, I thought maybe we can create kind of song that can be sung by more people, and the style can be gospel. You know, this gospel Afro-American style of singing.
Yeah.
It's usually like those are different kind of prayers. There is even a famous prayer, Kumbaya. Kumbaya means Lord, come here, or come here to this place. It was sung by enslaved Aryan and enslaved Afro-American people that were just praying, Lord, please help us in this misery situation. So I thought that maybe I can write a song in such a style that can be sung in this style. So I have translation to Polish. I will send to Dhirasanta Prabhu, so he can write it. I mean, read it, and then I will read also in English. Actually, I can put on chat English and Polish version, so it may be easier for translation to Spanish and maybe Croatian. Unfortunately, I don't know Spanish nor Croatian. Ne pričam Hrvatski.
Do you know Mandarin, Chinese?
No. No single word, unfortunately. I need to, just a second, because I'm using, it's not my computer, so on Mac, how to, I can paste it. I can't paste it. I don't know why. It's a simple thing. But on Mac, I don't know how to do it. Okay, anyway.
What about share?
Yeah.
Share screen?
Well, it's possible. Let's try. Share screen. Desktop 1, desktop 2. I don't think it will work because I see there are some signs of errors. So yeah, I will just read and I will post a Polish version on our Facebook group. No problem. So it's short and it's ongoing. So it's going to be polished and some more stanzas are going to be written too.
Okay.
So the title is, "O Lord, please protect us." The Supreme Lord sits on his Garuda's back. There is no mystical power he did lack. Conch shell, disc, club and rope, arrows, bow, shield and sword. Those are 8 amazing weapons of the Lord. Srimad Yadev took a great fish shape. May this Lord protect me in the water depth. May Lord's universal form save me in the sky, and may Vamanadev protect me on the land. And then a refrain comes. O Lord, please protect us. O Lord, please protect us. Protect us with your mighty arms, O Lord. So that's all for now.
Okay.
Those are 2 first lines.
So we can look forward to the gospel style performance of it.
I hope so, but I need some, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe to work on this.
With 4 different voices, maybe.
Well, let's see how it is possible. Maybe someone like to join to this effort. Then please write to me on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
that's all from me for now.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have? Did anyone else prepare a protection prayer after reading Narayana Kavaca? You want to share? I don't see anyone on. Oh, Somya Karani says that for a good gospel, you need 44 voices. Okay. I never heard that before. All right.
I think we can do like this, that we can repeat the refrain in some moment. Maybe we'll not hear each other, but anyway, we can perform together.
With a slight delay, yeah.
Yeah, just with a muted microphone, you know, just me and you, like this.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 shlokas for your birthday, Maharaj.
Oh, I think we're still doing something with Kavi Chandra.
Yeah.
Well, so the idea is that if someone like to join to my effort and have possibility to record some instrument like guitar, for example, because I'm not guitar player, or percussion or whatever, then please write to me, and we can try with this. Yeah, I have different software for this, so we can somehow we can do it. And then regarding performance, that delayed is, of course, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, if one person is singing like you are doing, Guru Maharaj, that you are singing and we are singing, you know, in our places, then somehow maybe, and then maybe next Vyasa Puja we can sing together.
Okay. Anyway, you can work on that.
Yeah.
So we just have a few minutes, and then hopefully our mystery guest will appear. Didum. Let's see now. I wanted to share something I discovered on the subject of protection from Sri Ishopanishad. Mantra number 6 has an interesting word in the last line, and different acharyas have taken it in different ways. And Madhvacharya in particular is interesting. The verse is Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanupashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijugupsate. Vijugupsate is the interesting word here. The translation we have here from His Holiness Bhanu Swami is, he who sees everything in the Lord and the Lord in everything does not desire to protect himself. He who sees everything in the Lord and the Lord in everything does not desire to protect himself. And then in Madhvacharya's commentary, he quotes from an obscure Shruti called the Sokarayana Shruti. Sarvagang paramatmanam sarvam cha paramatmani ya pashyet sa bhaya-bhavan natmanam goptum ichati. He who sees everything in the Supreme, meaning the Supreme's support, and sees the Lord in all, that is, as the regulator and controller, does not desire to protect himself, since he has no fear of anyone. And the word vijugupsate, there's this, what is called a desiderative in Sanskrit grammar, the prefix ju, and then the verbal root gup. And gup means to hide. The desire to hide. Na vijugups, having no desire to hide, is another way of translating it. And then just briefly from Vedanta Deshika, yes, from Vedanta Deshika, we have another translation of Vijugupsate. Thus, he who sees all beings ultimately in the Lord and the Lord in all beings never criticizes anyone. So that's interesting. Never criticizes anyone. And a third translation here is from Baladev Vidyabhushana. He says, he who sees all beings in the Atma and the Atma in all beings does not hate anyone. Okay, I just got a message from our guest that he wants to have the link on Skype. So bear with me. I'm going to have to do this. I don't know why he didn't get through email, but so it is. So here we go. Okay. And here. Okay, so he should be joining us soon. Meanwhile, I may mention that this last week, little bit of show and tell, not show, but tell, this last week on Wednesday and Thursday, we had Vaishnav Christian dialogue organized by Anuttama Prabhu. And it was very nice. This is a continuation of a program that's happened in South India. This was the 6th over the last 6 years. And our topic this time was inner and outer climate change, which was the theme which I sort of thought up. Inner and outer climate change, and then we had a subtitle of God, nature, and human transformation. So it inspired some interesting discussions and some more connecting with people. This time we had, in addition to the four different representations, Gaudiya Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnava, Roman Catholic Christian, and Protestant Christian. We also had one priest of the Syrian Orthodox Christian tradition from South India, but living in America. And he was very nice. So let's see, do we have our guest yet? No, not yet. Yes, no, not yet.
I can't see.
Let me go.
Guru Maharaj.
Say again?
I can't see our guest, Guru Maharaj. I can't.
Okay, I'll ask him. I also have something else. Well, okay, Avadutta Rai, you wanted to read something.
Well, that's very short, two shlokas for your birthday. The word fun means also celebration, so I put it in to have a rhyme, or how you say. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept our dandavat. Today is your birthday fun. We chant all day Harinam, pleasing you with Sevanam, food for life and Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Today is your birthday fun. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Speaking of birthday, next week, we're not going to have our regular Saturday Sanga because we're going to have, for whoever is able and wants to join, we'll have a gathering for Vyasa Puja. That begins, I believe, earlier than we're usually having. I'm not sure, but I guess you're all getting the information. And hopefully now.
Guru Maharaj starts at the same time as our regular meeting, Sunday meeting.
Oh, it's the same time?
Yes, 1 p.m. CET.
Oh, okay. Okay, 1 p.m. CET. All right, good. I really don't know what is the problem. He just sent me a question. What is the...
He's here in the meeting, Guru Maharaj. I can...
Oh.
Heribo.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Please welcome everyone, His Holiness Dhirasanta Das Goswami, coming to us all the way from, what is it, Latvia or Lithuania?
Lithuania, yeah.
Lithuania. I always get these two mixed up. Yeah, Dhirasanta Maharaj and I go way back, so to say. I don't remember even when we first met, but must have been early 80s. I don't know.
I don't remember. I think it was probably when you were in Denmark.
That must be Denmark. Oh, so that would go even back even earlier than I thought. That would be 1970, 73, 74.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yep.
Oh, those were kind of strange times. I
remember the orange suit that you got everyone to wear. The
orange suit?
The orange uniform.
I got everyone to wear?
You're all identical, yeah. I think it was just jackets, maybe jackets, orange jackets, and you were all identical.
Oh, yeah, I remember now, these orange jackets. That was not me. It wasn't my fault.
Oh, was that Alanov?
I think so, yeah. So let me introduce you a bit, and then maybe you can also introduce yourself some. Dhirasanta Das Goswami hails from the UK. Which part of the UK did you grow up? In the London area or elsewhere?
Southwest.
Southwest. And you ended up many years later living there, didn't you?
Yeah, actually as a grihasta, I went back down there to preach.
Yeah. And speaking of grihasta, we can say Maharaj has been through all 4 of the ashramas, brahmachari, grihasta, vanaprastha, and now sannyasa since more recently. So we have a real live case here. in case somebody is wondering, am I in the right ashrama? You can ask Dhirasanta Maharaj. He's experienced all of them. And speaking of Southwest English, preaching, especially in schools, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it all started in Finland when I was there in Finland. And I continued when I returned to England, because England was a prime place for presenting Hinduism to the schools, because the situation in England is, as you all know, that it's a multicultural place, multi-religious place, and therefore it's compulsory as far as the educational system in England that the children must learn something about something about the main 4 or 5 religions.
Mm.
So where I was living, I was the priest. They wanted to invite a live priest. So I was as live as you could get it down in that area.
You were you were a real specimen, so to say. Can you tell us something a little about how you would do these programs for kids?
Yeah, well, I would come in basically with, in the beginning, I only had about 3 small boxes, and it built up to 7 big, large boxes. And basically, I would transform the school or the classroom before the children came in into a temple. So I had a shrine and everything. So that was the focus point for the presentation. Of course, I would have pictures of Krishna, but also some of the demigods, just to highlight that I wasn't a Hare Krishna, but I was a Hindu priest. And but the actual workshop was almost like a Krishna conscious workshop.
Uh-huh.
Because the teachers, they didn't know anything better. They didn't know anything about Hinduism, so for me it was very easy to actually play Krishna conscious music, and many of the presentations were centered around the Krishna Lila. So like that, it was really a Krishna conscious presentation, not a Hindu presentation.
Nice.
And I would dress up the boys with waistcoats and turban.
Oh.
And the girls would be dressed up in gopi skirts and a kind of a veil over their head. So I get the teachers to dress the girls up. And for 1.5 hours, they were totally absorbed in Krishna conscious activities.
How old? What was the age range of kids?
Well, I would do it from very early age, even kindergarten, right up to secondary school.
Oh, okay.
So you had to, of course, adjust according to the age.
Yeah.
And but everyone loved it. Everyone loved it. It was, some of the girls, they just didn't want to take off their dress. It was probably the first time they even had a dress on. So they would be swinging around with their dress, and they were just over the moon, really.
And you are a storyteller, I believe. So in these programs, you're telling stories, isn't it?
Well, mostly it was actually hands-on throughout the whole presentation. I wouldn't just sit there and tell stories. Maybe for the older children, it was more suited because they didn't, teenagers don't like to be dressed up in funny clothes. But as far as the younger children, it was really hands-on all the way. I would have certain presentations to offer them so that they themselves could actually participate. They could actually have a go themselves.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about also Mukunda. Mahaprabhu in Sweden. I'm sure you know he's also done school programs for many years.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Mukunda, I actually made him a devotee. So I was
Oh.
I was there in Sweden from 78 to 81. And I was giving a free lunch. And one day these two boys came in and they took lunch and they had some skates with them. So I was asking them, what is it? Because I'd never really seen any skates before coming from England. We don't have so much snow, cold weather. So he said, well, there's skates and we're just going on the lake to skate. And they said, do you want to come with us? So I thought, well, these were potential devotees. And I thought, well, if I could befriend them, maybe one day they will become devotees. So I said, well, it's okay, but I don't have any skates. And they said, well, we have spare ones. So we can check your size. And so within, a couple of hours, I was on the lakes learning how to skate with these two boys.
I can just picture it.
And the next time I met them, they invited me to their house. And, it was just, a cordial visit. And we just talked a little bit about Krishna consciousness. The third visit, the second visit to their house was a little bit more intense because I managed to get into the kitchen and open the fridge door and tell them what was not good and what was okay. And then the third time visiting their house, I actually built them an altar.
Oh.
And both of them became devotees.
Uh-huh.
And one of them is Mukunda. The other one, I think he's still a devotee, but I'm not sure what he's doing.
So that was quite a successful, yeah, I would say Krishna definitely directed you there to go skating with them. Because Mukunda has been, he's the school acharya for Sweden. He's been doing these programs for many years.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice boy.
Speaking of refrigerator, you have shown me and explained to me how you became inspired to start teaching, giving cooking lessons for your disciples. Can you say something about that? How did it start? Because I don't know. I don't think of you so much, truth be told, as a cook. I think of you as a preacher, but how did it happen that you became a teacher of cooking?
Yeah, well, mostly my area for preaching is Ukraine and Russia, Baltics, like that. And what I noticed was when I went to these places, they would use me as a kind of guinea pig. I don't know if you know that term.
I know it well, but the others may not. In German, they say Versuchskaninchen. I don't know other languages, but yeah, an experimental animal.
That's right, yeah. And it was like every lunchtime, it was like, they were in the kitchen that, well, let's see if Maharaj likes this. And they will know if I had tasted it, because, they would see how much they put on the plate and it was returned to the kitchen, how much I ate. And this was going on and on. I was, getting really frustrated that I was being used like that to have to eat preparations that I didn't really like to eat. And I preferred the Vedic style dishes anyway. So, so it gave me an idea to learn how to cook the preparations myself. So you're right. I wasn't really a cook, but I had to learn.
Uh-huh.
I had to learn, I'm still actually learning each preparation, because at the moment I've done about 7 videos, and before each video I learn how to do the preparation.
Prabhupada said, learn something and teach it to others.
What's that?
He told, I think it was Burijan Prabhu, he told one time, he said, learn something and teach it to others. That's
right, yeah. Yeah, so that's how it all began. And, I also realized that, in our society, there are some things that changed for the better, but there's others that have changed for the worst. And one of them is that the Sunday feast in most temples and culture centers and wherever you're having them, the actual Sunday feast has declined to what it was in the early days.
I remember, and I'm sure you remember, the Sunday feasts with 15 or 16 preparations.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a standard Sunday feast in Germany at Schloss Rettershof.
That's right. We had 2 plates. One was the sweet plate and the other was the salty plate.
and the joke was, I remember Himavati Mataji, she said, sometimes I just felt so frustrated with everything about life in the temple, I decided that I'm just going to leave. And she would say, I just can't take it anymore. She'd say, I would have that determination on a Wednesday. And then I would think, well, anyway, let me just stay until the Sunday feast and then I'll go. And then she would stay until the Sunday feast, and she was an excellent cook. And then after the Sunday feast, she'd think, anyway, things are not so bad. This would go on.
Well, I have one verse which I'd like to read out from the Madhya Lila 493.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very nice verse because it explains the standard of the kind of food one should offer to the deities. And Prabhupada gives a nice purport, which also highlights the importance of ghee, yogurt, milk, and grains, that these are main ingredients for cooking Vedic preparations. Can I just read that?
Please.
Yeah, as I said, it's Madhya Lila 4, chapter 4, 9, text 93.
Okay, I'm just looking it up.
The inhabitants of the village brought to the deity of Gopal as much food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk as they had in their village. And Prabhupada's purport, Anna, Grita, Dadi, and Dugda are food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. Actually, these are the basis of all foods. Vegetables and fruits are subsidiary. Hundreds and thousands of preparations can be made out of grains, vegetables, ghee, milk, and yogurt. The food offered to Gopal in the Anikut ceremony contained only these 5 ingredients. Only demoniac people are attracted to other types of food, which we will not even mention in this connection. We should understand that in order to prepare nutritious food, we require only grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. We cannot offer anything else to the deity. The Vaishnava, the perfect human being, does not accept anything not offered to the deity. People are often frustrated with natural food policies, but from
national
food policies. But from the Vedic scriptures, we find that if there are sufficient cows and grains, the entire food problem is solved. The Vaishyas, people engaged in agricultural commerce, are therefore recommended in the Bhagavad Gita to produce grains and give protection to cows. Cows are the most important animals because they produce the miracle food milk from which we can prepare ghee and yogurt. And the three main points that I've highlighted in this purport is that we should understand that in order to prepare nutritious food, we require only grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk. We cannot offer anything else to the deity. Food grains, ghee, yogurt, and milk are the basis of all food. Vegetables and fruits are subsidiary.
That's
Hundreds
interesting.
and thousands of preparations are cooked out of grains, vegetables, ghee, milk, and yogurt. And from the Vedic point of view, if there are sufficient cows and grains, we would solve the world's food problem. Products of grains and giving protection to cows are most important.
Indeed. That brings up a whole big subject, of course, which I've written a book about. I wanted to ask, though, with your teaching, I think you've put these videos on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
So some devotees here might be interested to see those. If they just search YouTube, Dhirasanta Das Goswami, will they find?
Well, if you like, I can just show, if I share my screen, is that okay?
My only hesitation is that my experience is video doesn't work very well through Zoom. It's sort of...
I won't actually show a video.
Oh, okay.
I don't need to show it, but I can show a little bit of how I'm teaching online.
Okay. Yes, please.
How do I share my screen?
There's a button on the bottom that says share screen. Do you see that? Dharma Gupta, should it be possible? Is it possible for
yes,
Maharaj?
Yes, possible. Just it's easy.
There we go.
Yes.
The website. Okay.
There's a nice talk by Shruti Kirti Prabhu also, who explaining Prabhupada's preference in regards to what we should offer to the deity and respect ourselves. It's a very nice, making some very nice points. And So this is the video of, let's say, chapatis, for instance. And underneath, these are all the pictures which devotees have sent in, which has their name on it, has their name, where they're from, and what date they actually sent the picture, and how many other pictures have they sent. So this is the third picture. This way we can keep a good check on the devotees so they don't cheat. So here's a liberated chapati right there, look.
Liberated chapati.
Yeah, some people say that a pizza is a liberated chapati. I don't agree with that. I say a liberated chapati is a chapati that puffs up.
Okay. Mukta chapati.
Yeah, so there's lots of pictures. This is puris. That's the video. And these are the pictures.
And you are also you're giving marks, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. I can show you that too.
Yes, please do.
So this is the cooking performance chart. And as you see on the top, there's the different preparations. There's a little footnote. Chapatis must be liberated. It must rise.
Yeah.
And puris must rise, no oil but ghee.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. So there's a list of devotees, and then every time they send in a picture, and the picture looks like a little bit like the picture in the video, and they get a star. And if they get 5 stars, they get a liberated mark. And the final test.
What means the 2 different colors? There's orange and there's blue.
Yeah, the orange is the practice. It's like, I say I call it being with Radharani in the kitchen. She's a golden colored Radharani. She's helping you in the kitchen. And then the blue one is Krishna, is liberation.
I see. Okay.
It's just,
Yeah.
just to differentiate the two. And then you have a green one here.
Oh.
As you know, I'm in Lithuania, so the final test is actually to taste what is being cooked. And if I like it, if it passes my scrutiny, they get a Radha Krishna.
So it has to pass the Dhirasanta Das Goswami taste test.
Exactly. And then they've graduated. That's their graduation of Radha Krishna. And we have devotees from Ukraine, Russia, Latvia, Lithuania, India, Norway. And as you see, besides some of these, there's a number. So the numbers here indicate what's happened this week. And in order for them to get a class from me on Sunday and a japa work on Saturday morning, there must be at least 20 participants, 20 different individuals that have cooked within the week. And if there isn't any 20,
wow.
I don't give the japa workshop and I don't give the class.
Wow. So that's quite an impetus for them to do their homework, huh?
Well, it is, because 1 week I refused. There wasn't 20.
There were only 19, right?
And, you know, after that, everyone, you know, perked up and realized that I meant what I said.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But they don't take it as a mean thing, but they take it as an incentive, a good incentive to get in the kitchen, because there's, you know, many devotees that just don't want to go into the kitchen and try it. But once they have tried and they realize that, you know, they can also cook, they become quite surprised and enthusiastic to continue the course.
Ah, that's nice. I was just thinking of a possible additional test you could make, not in this present pandemic situation, but assuming it's all over one time, is that they pass a test of not just your approval, but of cooking for a group of devotees.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to cook for one person or two or three, but it's quite a different thing to cook, you know, for a larger number.
That's true.
And as we all know, His Holiness Bibi Govinda Maharaj is famous for his feasts. He used to cook in Vrindavan these feasts for hundreds of devotees, and they were, as we say, over the moon. They were so good. So that would be maybe, you know, Bhakti Vedant, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedant, Bhakti Sarvabhauma cooking.
Yeah. Well, it's a good idea. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic.
That could be something for when the pandemic is over.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pandemic, do you have any thoughts you could share with the devotees here on the subject that you've had reflections about with respect to, practice of Krishna consciousness, the direction of the age of Kali or whatever? If you want to go back to regular screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to find how to get out of I'm trying to get to the main.
Well, on the very top, you may find a button that says something like exit.
I just can't find that for some reason.
Stop sharing. There's a stop sharing red button on the top of the screen.
On the top of the screen should be a button, a red button that says stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on the main screen. I'm on the screen, but there's only 4 or 5 pictures.
Yeah, so one thing that might help is if you hit escape, then that will bring everything down to a size where then you may see the button on the top. And you have to move with the cursor to see it.
Can you see what I'm doing here? Can't see, can you?
No, not seeing. Anyway.
Oh,
there we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
I stopped the sharing from the side. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sorry, what was your question?
Well, with respect to the situation, the world situation of today, have you had any reflections on this pandemic situation with respect to devotees and continuing our services and changing our services, and any thoughts you've had on that?
Well, one thing that I've been thinking of is that this was the age of Kali, but now it's the age, it's Lord Chaitanya's age. He's taken over. We do our little bit of preaching. We do as much as we can and make an impact as much as we can. But, you know, it's as much as we can. Of course, the last 50 years of our preaching, there's been major changes in the world in regards to Krishna consciousness and people becoming involved in Krishna consciousness. But to me, it seems that for the world to actually receive Lord Chaitanya's mercy, mercy which overshadows the state of the world today, Lord Chaitanya himself has to do something. He has to do his little bit of preaching too.
He has to do his part, huh?
Yeah. And, you know, this is, to me, it seems that this is one of the things that he has created just to slow things down, to get people, you know, to wake people up a little bit to the fact that, you know, they're making, that practically everything they're doing is wrong. And they're making an absolute mess of the world, the environment. They're making a mess in the environment. They make a mess within their own lives. You know, there's leaders that are barking at each other like big girls fighting. It's just incredible. There's no piety, there's no sanity. And almost as if we devotees are the only ones that actually have, you know, a life which we can call life, if we follow the practices properly. And as far as, you know, the epidemic, you know, interfering with our lives, it doesn't really interfere. We're already practiced to you know, practicing, you know, some austerities. Our austerities are there already. We chant 16 rounds, we follow the 4 regulative principles, and we do as much preaching as we can. This is austere. It's not that it's easy, it's austere. It's austere because 99.9% of the society is against this kind of way of life, or is unfamiliar. And therefore, you know, our work is not easy. But if, you know, Lord Chaitanya can slow things down a little bit, which he has done, it's obvious that, you know, that there's made a major impact in the whole world. And I see it as the hand of Krishna, the hand of Lord Chaitanya. And I you know, I've been praying for years that this illusory bubble that giant bubble that exists within the world would, quickly burst so we can get some sanity back into the world and everyone's life. And I feel that this is one of the ways Lord Chaitanya is doing it. This is, what I've been reflecting on lately.
So it sounds like you're hopeful that things are going to get better because Lord Chaitanya is going to be doing his part, or is doing his part.
Well, the way I see it is that devotees, we don't even have to say it's getting better. For the devotees, his life is always auspicious. We're never in a situation where we're really suffering. It's because we have Guru, we have Krishna, we have Lord Chaitanya. If we walk around saying poor, poor, poor me, it's not a very good mentality for a devotee. Even Prabhupada once said that the greatest disgrace is for a devotee to be morose in front of his spiritual master. Because the spiritual master has given so much. Prabhupada has given us so much. The gifts, sometimes I ask my followers, write down how many gifts you got. One time there was one devotee who wrote 50 gifts, and I checked every one of them, and there was no doubles.
Yeah.
So we have no reason to feel that things should be better or should be worse. We should already be balanced within our own life as a devotee. And if we're not balanced, then we will feel it. Yes, we will feel the pain as much as the non-devotees are feeling it.
Very nice. Nice point. Thank you. I'm thinking now to see if anyone wants to ask you something. We have quite a good number here today. It's some 70 devotees. So now...
Can I just finish off with a couple of quotes from...
Oh, yes, please.
These are quite relevant to the points I've been making. Srila Prabhupada called boiled vegetables a starvation diet. In the early days, the offerings were cooked with ghee. We called ghee liquid gold. That was our gold. Srila Prabhupada would say the only cooked food was food cooked with ghee, and everything else is just raw food. He also said that the deities should have opulent offerings cooked in ghee and sugar. Otherwise, it is food for sick people. The offerings must be sumptuous and delicious. He said that prasadam should be so tasty, no one would think of going outside to eat or to buy pre-packed food from the food store. And he would say that you should eat as much as you like and walk away from the temple like a duck.
Like a duck.
I remember that's what I was doing. I didn't really like kirtan. I didn't like, I couldn't understand the philosophy. It was way above my head, but I did perfectly understand the Sunday feast, and that was the reason why I used to come. And I literally used to walk away like a duck and wait for the next Sunday.
And those big, huge plates of halava that we used to have.
Yeah. There's one of the other things I'm doing with the followers is to ask them to write down their cooking experiences. So I'll just read out a few of those.
Oh, okay.
My mother was not very favorable about me practicing Krishna consciousness. This is Bhakti Elga. One day I had already prepared pushpan rice and offered it to Krishna when my mother suddenly arrived at home, at the home. I offered her some of the pushpan rice. After that, her mood became more positive. And a couple of weeks later, she came again and I gave her some pakoras. After eating 4 or 5 of them, she said, "These are so nice, I cannot stop eating." I gave the rest of the pakoras to her to take to work the next day. And now I don't need to cover my altar as I did before when she came to visit. And another one, another devotee said, "I never did like puris or gulab jamuns because they're usually cooked in oil and not very tasty. But now I am cooking them in ghee. They're so delicious." So these are just some of the realizations the devotees are writing down.
Yes, Prabhupada said self-realization begins with the tongue, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're known as the kitchen religion. It all starts in the kitchen.
The kitchen religion, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so if there's
Thank you. These are all inspiring. This is all inspiring. Any questions from any one of you here? Let's see if anyone here on the chat has something. Dhira Lalita is asking, what happens when devotees can't digest grains and dairy? Are we going to be forgiven by our home deities?
Well, I'll just answer this question with another quote. I don't have it written down, but I remember it. One devotee here in Lithuania had a very, very bad digestion. And he's on the course. And since he's been preparing the food with ghee, his digestion has improved 100%. So there is sometimes propaganda that milk and ghee is going to ruin your system. But as far as I've seen, as far as my own experience also, is that it's the opposite.
Okay.
But, if it's genuine, I mean, I'm not disputing that there is a problem in some individuals. Then, as Prabhupada would say, you do the needful.
Yes. That priority is to serve Krishna one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
Chitrakarani has a question for you. Do you want to come on and ask Maharaj directly, Chitrakarani?
Hare Krishna, please accept my respectful obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The last sentence, you just said that if we are not balanced, we will experience suffering. Can you please kindly open the subject of suffering? Thank you.
Anything that's not connected with Krishna, we're bound to suffer to some degree. And as we know within our philosophy, there is the threefold miseries, the adhyatmic, adhibautic, and adhidaivic miseries. So these miseries are for everyone, even for ourselves. But when you're a devotee, the miseries are reduced tremendously. Sannyasis, we have a fourfold misery. This is a sannyasi joke coming here. We have a number four miseries. We have the adi-bhautik, adi-devic, and adi-atmic misery. And we also have the adi-servant misery. That's a joke. But we sannyasis know about the adi-servant. Sometimes we get given a servant, but we need to train them before they actually can serve. So while we're training, we need to keep correcting them for the smallest little thing. But anyway, miseries are there, whether you're a devotee or non-devotee. But as a devotee, their miseries are reduced tremendously. Why is that? Well, because Krishna is present within our life, and he is the supreme controller. He's the cause of all causes. He is the paramatma within our heart. And therefore, when he sees that we're sincere in serving him, even if it's just a little bit of sincerity, he will then take charge of our life. And the miseries are reduced. You have probably yourselves already experienced that over the years of practice. Have you experienced yourself? Have you experienced that your suffering has reduced?
Yes, actually, the suffering comes because of the desires, but when I put Krishna always in the center, it's like all the other things are like some being fall on the earth and everything seems so beautiful. But when Krishna moves away from the center to the side, then everything starts to become dark, sad, and painful. So it's like a geometry. When Krishna is in the center, everything is beautiful and joyful. And when Krishna is go away from the center, then like everything is collapsing. I experienced it so many times.
Are you a housewife?
I don't know who I am. I'm doing many things.
Do you have an apartment?
Yes, yes.
And sometimes you are cleaning your apartment?
Oh, yes, all the time. Yes.
And in the springtime, do you do a spring clean?
Spring cleaning, winter cleaning. I'm a little bit obsessed with cleaning. Yes.
Okay. So you've had plenty of experience then that when you clean your apartment, within 10 minutes of cleaning, your apartment is in a worse condition than when you started. And the reason is you have to put the furniture in the center of the room. You bring down the pictures on top of this sofa. There's all kinds of arrangements that you have to make in order to thoroughly clean the apartment. Is that correct or not?
Perfectly correct. Exactly.
So when suddenly your apartment is in a mess, do you lament that you may have done something wrong?
No, I say just resist this mess, continue working, then the house will be in order and everything will be nice.
Exactly. So it's the cleaning process. It gets worse before it gets better. And Krishna consciousness is also similar, that it's not that, every day is bliss. Sometimes we have to experience the different emotions in Krishna consciousness. We have to experience all of them. Sometimes we are separated from Krishna. Sometimes we're feeling that Krishna's abandoned us. Sometimes our japa is impossible because the mind is nagging at us as if we are chanting our japa in front of a washing machine. You know, and these times are not very nice. But it's not that Krishna is not in the center, he's still there. But you must go through all these trials and errors so that Krishna can check and can, what's the word? You can assess the degree of your sincerity, let's put it like that. So, as we sometimes say, what's that saying? And I've forgotten it. But it means that, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of suffering, because that suffering makes you stronger.
There's no gain without pain.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's not the one I was thinking though, but
if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you stronger.
Yeah.
Or it'll make you, yeah.
Is that okay? So just push on. You know, you've already come a long way, and the process you've seen it works. And you know, not everything will be perfect immediately. It'll take some time. In the meantime, don't say poor me, but rather say, wow, how many gifts Prabhupada has given me. I'm so fortunate.
So nice.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you.
And I think we're all very grateful to you for giving us your time today, Maharaj. And I think we're all benefited. What do you all say? They're all being silent. Can we turn on microphones? Can we unmute everyone?
Heribo.
Okay. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
you.
So thank you very much, Maharaj.
Thank you, everyone.
For joining us.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Muchas gracias. Haribol. Haribol.
Everything is available. English,
Thank you.
All the best to you, Maharaj, for your preaching.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And I will say to everyone, thank you again for joining us. And I wish you a wonderful week in Krishna consciousness. You can meditate on all these nice points that Maharaj has made. Maybe you want to do some cooking, following his lessons. And what else? Yes, you can also watch watch Radhika Raman Prabhu. You can learn what is Mayavad philosophy and how to overcome it. So, and we'll see you next week. And I wish you all great holiday days and festivities. Yeah, we celebrate. Prabhupada used to say, Lord Jesus Christ all the time. Lord Jesus Christ. We celebrate his birthday this coming Friday. And so these are all, it is the best time of all possible times to to be alive, we can think like that. Okay, thank you all. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavarinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bo.
Yeah.
Jai Guru Maharaj.